Let me just jump straight into this. I don't really have a title set for this week. I have a topic that I'm going to, but I didn't have a title for it. But I want to talk to you about, let me just jump and actually read the scripture in John 4. I want to approach it this way. John 4 talks about the woman at the well, where Jesus met that. Verse 34 says, "Then Jesus explained," the disciples were trying to get him to eat because he was tired, he was hungry, but then he was helping the lady at the woman at the well and all this stuff going on. But he made this one statement. He said, "Then Jesus explained, my nourishment comes from doing the will of God who sent me and from finishing his work." Man, there's something powerful, I think, that's been hitting me. You know, sometimes I think when I feel tired or I need a rest, and there's a place for that, because I truly believe, and the Bible talks about we're blessed to be a blessing. I truly believe you're filled to be poured out, but you got to be filled to pour something out. But it's that continuous cycle also that's taking place. And here I'm more emphasizing the pouring out part, because if you're always full all the time, there's nothing to pour back in. So it's that constant cycle. But going here, it talks about he gained nourishment from doing the will of God. Well, we could all say, well, what's the will of God in this moment? You know, well, will of God's this and get this big. Hey, just follow the whole thing. What happened? See, that was a response to everything that just played out. He did something. He said something here. Seeing the will of God done and from finishing his work. Well, what happened? The woman at the well, the whole thing was interacting with her, was be a blessing with her, was interacting with her, was engaging with her, was seeing her set free from her shame, seeing God's love being expressed towards her, and it caused her to come with deliverance from the bondage she was in. That's what the nourishment comes from. The Bible talks about all through there, love God, love people. And really, to love God is to love people, by the way. Hope you caught that. Yes, it says love God, love people. But to love God is to love people, is what that is. So there's a nourishment, there's a spiritual transaction that takes place by helping others. So all I wanted to emphasize, encouraging you in the will of God. We'll go through this all week. I'll break down the next thing. You know how I do. But I want to insert this, and we're going to hang here at John 4, verse 34. That nourishment comes from doing the will of God. And what is the will of God? Being a blessing to others and loving others and showing his goodness to others. That brings us a nourishment that I think we've experienced, but we haven't intentionally understood what comes out of the refreshing of being a blessing to others. And it spiritually nurtures us. So we're going to get into that this week. But what am I encouraging you today? Man, if you want to know what to do the will of God, just start loving on people. Showing people God's goodness, and man, you're walking out the will of God for your life. All right, guys, hope I encourage you. Be a blessing today and watch what happens when you're a blessing to others and you see that goodness get on others. It's a very, very fulfilling feeling that you're going to have, and a different type of happiness that the Spirit of God's promised. All right, catch you tomorrow.